Welcome back to Hi Guys, it's your boy BDR and I'm back with another class overview video. Now, this class overview is going to be about quantum slash continuum chronomancer. Now, about quantum continuum chronomancer, this is the 2022 calendar class. So this class is about like a couple years old, whatnot. So I decided, do an overview on it, kind of like Paladin Chronomancer. About quantum chronomancer, it is surprisingly, it is a both a support and soloing option, with its support, but we'll get more into that later. It's still a pretty nice support, still to this day. So, obviously with these overviews, how to obtain the class, going over the skills, soloing, farming, survivability portions of the video, and then closing thoughts. Alright then guys, let's get started with how to obtain Quantum Chronomancer. Alright guys, so we're at Hero Mart, slash join Hero Mart. The only way to obtain Quantum Chronomancer, Hero Mart. And you gonna talk to Strife, calendar classes, AC shop. You want to scroll all the way down until you see the 2022 time lock key, which will contain the Quantum Chronomancer. Now it is 6k ACs, it is a hefty fine for a chrono class, but to be fair, the calendars do cost about like $20 to $30 if we're adding tax and shipping. So, these calendar classes are kind of like $20 to $30 each. Once you do that, you can just time lock shop, next decade, Quantum Chronomancer. There you go. Alright, got that out of the way. Let's talk about the skills. So Quantum Chronomancer has its own auto attack. Quantum Rift applies temporal rift for 30 seconds and it also stacks up to 4 and is used by your other skills. Rank 1 skill, Quantum Fracture, inflicts quantum fracturing and quantum fragmenting, inflicting a damage over time as well as reducing their defense and dodge by 30% for 10 seconds. Then we have Quantum Shift, which is 20 mana, 10-second cooldown, and infinite range status skill that can apply up to 20 targets. I don't think there's like another class that could do that up to 20 friendly targets. Applies Quantum Shift, increasing crit chance and defense by 30%, as well as increasing physical and magical outgoing damage by 10% for 10 seconds. Then we have Quantum Restructure, applies Quantum Restructure to significantly reduce the amount of damage you will take, while inflicting Quantum Rupture to significantly increase the amount of damage your target takes. Both effects last 2 seconds, never misses or crits. Your rank 4 passives, Red Vision, your dodge and haste are increased by 15%, and delayed deadline, increasing your endurance by 50%. Then you have your rank 5 skill, which is your usual nuke, Quantum Convergence, 20 mana, 14-second cooldown, infinite range, 1 target. Inflicts Quantum Convergence for 10 seconds, a heavy damage over time. If Temporal Rip is active, it consumes it to deal damage based on the damage you've dealt in the last 10 seconds while Temporal Rift was active. And your rank 10 skill, Quantum Mending, it increases your crit modifier and DOT damage by 10% for 20 seconds, stacks to 40 but cannot be refreshed. What we can gather here so far is that this class is a soloing class that can apply heavy DLTs and also can support. It also can be used as support as well. That's why I said earlier this class can actually be used as both a support and soloing option at the same time. Alright then, let's move on to combos and enhancements. Alright guys, so this is the build that we're going to go with Quantum Chronomancer, Ravenous, over Smite. Now, Smite is a good thing, but with Ravenous, as your opponent's HP decreases, this class is going to do much more damage. While Smite, if you really care about your 5th skill, because what Smite does is like, activates on the 5th skill, 500% hybrid, but Ravenous, that's found it could do way more damage than Smite. Lucky, obviously, because this class loves crits. Vainglory, for extra DPS, and Anima for that 10% hit chance. As always, we are rocking a 75% weapon. Oops, forgot the battle analyzer for once. Alright then. For your combo, you're gonna want to do 3, 2, 4 times, 4, 2, and then 5. So this class, while it could apply debuffs, it could apply a DLT. That's its main bread and butter when it comes to soloing. Just applying the, oh damn, near 200k right there, thanks to Ravenous. 2k burns. Well, kind of making this class, pretty nice. This class is a pretty nice soloer, easy nukes right there. This is kind of like, just full DPS, what you want to do here. Now, in some fights, it doesn't really have much defense going for it. That's why it can get clapped up. Oh shit, right there, just easy, fast nukes, and good DLTs as well. We did 885,000 damage on a 600,000k monster. So in terms of soloing, this class is pretty great at soloing. It could apply debuffs, and it could apply, easy, fast nukes with heavy DLTs. Now then, let's move on to farming. Alright guys, so in terms of farming, yeah, I wouldn't recommend using Quantum Chrono. While it is infinite range, it's a single hit targeting class, so don't use it for farming. Alright then, let's move on to survivability. Alright then guys, so in terms of survivability, as you saw in the soloing portion of the video, this class's defense are not really the highest. So, it can get, clamped up by hard enough, monsters. But in most cases, this class is able to survive due to its heavy DLTs and fast nukes. But you do gotta watch out in certain boss fights. Alright then, let's move on to support and then final thoughts. Alright then guys, so in terms of support, this class is actually pretty great at dishing out support, mainly from its quantum shift, increasing crit chance and defense, as well as, the physical and outgoing magical damage by 10%. Pair that up with other skills, it can increase, the damage that your opponent could take. It can reduce dodge and defenses, apply heavy DLTs from the 5th skill. Overall, in terms of support, Quantum Chronomancer is actually one of the best classes when it comes to support. Alright then, so the pros about Quantum Chronomancer is that it is both a soloing and support option at the same time. It's easy to use, fairly easy to use. Good DPS, support as great support in buffs and debuffs. So yeah, and it can be used in a variety of ultras and challenge bosses. So that's all I have for pros. The cons about Quantum Chronomancer is that, the usual, it's pricey, 6k ACs. While its nukes are good, it's not as high as others. Like, let's just say like Timekeeper and Chrono Shadow Slayer. There are, better options, very few better options for it. And it's seen more as a support than a solo, even though it's seen as it's both a support and soloing class. It's usually seen more as a support class. That's like a flex option. So yeah, that's pretty much it for cons. It does have its fair share of cons. Now then, my final verdict about Quantum Chronomancer, or QCM, is that Quantum Chronomancer is a great, support and soloing option to have around parties. I recommend getting this class if you have the 6k ACs. So yeah guys, that's pretty much been it for the, Quantum Chronomancer, or QCM / Continuum Chronomancer overview. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. And also, what classes do you want to see me overview next? Type them down in the comment section below. There's probably tons of other classes I haven't done yet. And yeah. Hi guys, out.